Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning to everyone. My name is Dr. Abdurrahman Abunada, scientific expert at Qatar Research, Innovation and Development Council. I will be hosting today's webinar on the fifth cycle of the Food Security Call, joint funded with the Ministry of Municipality. Joining us today as our panelists are Dr. Omar Bakhris, National Research Program Director at QRDI, and Ms. Widad Al-Asmar from the Ministry of Municipality. Today's agenda will be as follows. We will go over the overview and research priority areas. Then we will go to the Ministry of Municipality Resources. That will be presented by Ms. Widad. Then we will go to the applications, budget, pre-award stage, and the timeline. Any questions will be addressed at the end of the webinar. Objectives and research priority areas. So the main motivation for this call is to build a robust food security strategy according to the NDS. So Qatar should focus on the four interdependent pillars. A is the international trade and logistics to ensure that trade routes are diversified so that the risk exposure is limited, contingency plans for alternative routes as needed. B is the domestic self-sufficiency, efficiently cultivate crops, meat, and fish within the confines of Qatar's resource base to ensure a stable source of perishable in time of crisis. Provide a regulatory framework that creates incentives to focus on commodities that make sense from a cost competitive point of view. Then we look at the strategic reserves, which are put in place for adequate but sensible reserve capacity to act as a buffer in time of crisis, both for inputs and outputs. So inputs as water, seed, and fertilizer, and outputs as food products. And then we talk about D as an enabler of domestic markets to move food from port, field, or reserves to table as efficiently as possible. So the objectives here, the key objectives of the call are enhancing food security measures in Qatar through investing in applied research into the main pillars of Qatar national food security strategy, and harnessing local and external expertise and knowledge in food security related to science and technology to develop solutions for the local Qatari conditions. A key indicating parameter for Qatar's food security is the Global Food Security Index. As you can see, the Food Security Index as a global rank, Qatar has been hovering through 20th to 30th position. In 2019, we had the most successful year where we went to the 13th position as a global rank. If you look at the regional rank in the MENA region, we went from first to fourth between the 2016 and 2022, with 2019 also being the best year through this period of time. So these are the specific indicators. Improvement is noticed in affordability and availability over 2021 and 22. However, further improvement is needed in quality and safety as there was significant drop in the rank in 2022. That's why we decided to go for the following research areas. The research priorities, these research priorities, as mentioned before, were decided upon. The first research priority of this call is the assessment and monitoring of local and international food supply chains. This is to ensure that Qatar's food import strategy is resilient against potential trade shocks and disruptions. and that Qatar can quickly react to the loss of trade partners or drop in self-sufficiency. It is to study and the study and evaluation of food supply chains for food products and inputs in terms of demands, to study the study of local agriculture products losses along the production and distribution chains, and to develop a science-based framework for global and local food security risk monitoring. The potential outcomes of this priority area include, but not limited to, new customized and improved food supply chain models, economic models, and food supply frameworks, policy and/or strategy documents, risk monitoring tools that assess, predict, and provide solutions to all issues related to food supply chain in Qatar. The second priority area is policy and community initiatives for localized and sustainable food production. This is to assess the adequacy and effectiveness of food-related policies locally, regionally, and internationally, and explore those measures that can effectively promote localized sustainable food production in Qatar. Of course, science-based consumer education on the environmental costs of food productions, and perform a study that leads to a robust assessment of national food consumption patterns in Qatar. The third research priority area is sustainable fisheries and aquaculture. This has to do with the genetic improvement of fish and shrimp in the national marine environment, preservation of genes of different fish species, innovative practices to improve the performance of fingerlings production and to enhance the management of broodstock in fish and shrimp hatcheries, necessary practices to protect and ensure the sustainability of fish stocks in Qatari marine, and the climate change readiness for sustainable fisheries and aquaculture in Qatar. The potential outcomes of this priority area is new and customized technologies, technology processes and practices that increase local aquaculture. The fourth and final priority area is technologies and practices to develop healthy farm animals, epidemiology of farm animal diseases, evaluation and improvement of farm animal fodder and alternative feeds, genetic improvement and profiling of farm animals, smart monitoring and screening of livestock, and climate change readiness also for animal production systems. Potential outcomes are improved technologies, processes and practices, and monitor local farm animal productions, and the production of breed adaptations to the local environment and stressors. Now I hand the stage to Ms. Widad from the Ministry of Municipality.
Thank you, Dr. Abdulrahman, for your presentation. My name is Widad Al-Asmar, and since there is a partnership between QRDI and Ministry of Municipality, so today I am representing the Ministry of Municipality to talk briefly about the resources and facilities which can be used by the researchers. Can you go to next slide, Doctor? As you can see in the chart below, the agricultural sector have 5 sections. It's agriculture affairs and animal resources, fisheries, food security, and agriculture researchers. First of all, researchers must use the Ministry of Municipality labs and facilities for their research, which is the key evaluation creation. And second, they can also use their institution or co-founder lab with the proper justification of the need. Can you go on the next slide, Doctor? The researchers who win in projects, they have access to laboratory, they test facilities and field. Also, they can receive support from our teams, including researchers and technicians. In addition, they can use equipment, materials, and supplies at these facilities. And logistic services can be used as well, such as transportation and administration support. Last but not least, researchers also have access to relevant data and data sets for their project. To use these resources, there is two important points we should consider on them. The first point, a supporting letter from Ministry of Municipality should be uploaded in the Joint Funder Support section on the submission platform. And the second point, the Ministry of Municipality supporting letter template can be found on the calls page and must be signed and stamped by the Ministry as per the template. And for more information for the supporting letter requested and inquiries, you can contact with Ms. Khulud Ibrahim or with me, Wilad Al Asmar, and use our emails. Now I will talk in general and briefly about our facilities and labs, such as we have animal resources, such as we have pathology, we have viruses lab, biotechnology lab. And for more information of these our labs, you can go to portal and website of QRD, and you can see the description of these our labs. Can you go to other? And this is the photo of our labs and the stations. Next slide. This is the photo you can see. This is our stations labs. For agricultural resources, also we have labs and like gene bank. Also we have biotechnology lab and soil and water lab. Next slide, Doctor. And there is also, this is our facilities and labs with the researchers or who winning and the winning researchers can use it in our Ministry of Municipality. Next slide. This is the photo for our stations and our labs for agriculture. Next. Yes, and this is in the Aquatic Research Center. We have nice scientific laboratory and we have wet lab. And we have fish farming units. And for more information and details and description about these labs, you can contact me and Ms. Khulud, and also you can see in portal in QRD portal. And this is our photo for aquatic labs. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for.
Thank you, Ms. Widad. So now we go to the application side of this call. There are two main types of applications: new proposals and resubmissions. With regards to eligibility, the LPI must be a full-time affiliate of an approved submitting institution inside of Qatar. If the LPI is from a collaborative institution outside of Qatar, they must collaborate with the co-LPI from an approved submitting institution inside of Qatar. An eligible LPI or co-LPI must hold a terminal degree as defined in the list of terminal degrees. The LPI can submit only one application per cycle, and a researcher can hold up to 3 roles as a key investigator in all food security calls, excluding participation in projects ending before 1st of October 2024. The updates in eligibility are relaxed criteria of applicants in terms of number of applications, age index, and restrictions of the number of roles. With regards to the research team, the PI must hold at least a university postgraduate degree and must be affiliated with a research institution from inside of or outside of Qatar. Postdoctoral scholars, graduate students, technologists, research associates, research assistants, undergraduate students, lab technicians, and consultants are considered as research team members. Consultants who are added to the project will not be compensated. Recruitment of research staff from abroad is allowed also. With regards to the budget, each award is up to 533,000 Qatari riyals per year and up to 3 years. At least 80% of the proposed total annual budget and 70% funded research efforts must be inside of Qatar by the research team. Private institutions are submitting or collaborative institutions are not eligible for personal or indirect costs. Co-funding and cost sharing are encouraged. So personnel, equipment and consumables, travel must be 10% of the annual direct budget. Miscellaneous must be 5% of the annual direct budget, and indirect costs must be 10% of the annual budget. And these details can be found on the QRDI portal. Going to the pre-award phase, the steps of the pre-award stage are as follows. First is the proposal submission and vetting. After that, the proposals are screened. After that, the proposals are evaluated by the peer reviewers. Then the proposal is programmatically reviewed, and then we decide on which proposal is recommended for funding, and then the award results are announced. So the first step is the proposal submission. The registration application is on our Q Grants website. As for the proposal step, all applications should include the following components: summary, research areas, institutions, personnel, research plan, budget, ethical compliance, and IP. Note that we reduced the number of pages for the research plan to 10. You can find the template policies on the page of the QRDI portal as well. The second step is screening. Proposals will be screened by QRDI and the Ministry of Municipality. Screening and outcomes will be announced. So for this cycle, we removed external similarity screening. We removed the alignment to priority areas. We simplified the documentation authorization process, and increased reliability on vetting by the research officers. The peer reviewing step is as follows. So the peer reviewer evaluates the proposal upon these items. 30% is on scientific excellence, 30% of the evaluation is on implementation, 20% is on the budget of the proposal, and 20% is on the potential impact of the proposal. The research compliance is only comments. So for this cycle, the peer review is 40% of the overall score. We updated the evaluation criteria and their respective weightages. We mandated the alignment, applicants, caliber, similarity, and budget to the review. Any proposals that scores poor in any individual criterion will not be considered for funding in the funding process. For the programmatic review, which is about 60% of the overall score, the relevance to Qatar is about 25% of the weight of the programmatic review, and the potential impact for Qatar is 75% of the weight. We updated the evaluation criteria and their respective weightages, mandated alignment. Any proposal as in the peer reviewing step which scores the poor in any of the individual criteria will not be considered for the funding process. And there will be no budget reduction and no panel conditions imposed. So for the awarding process, we look at the proposals in these four evaluations. So if you got an A, the proposal was evaluated to be highly competitive. If you score a B, the proposal was evaluated to be moderately competitive. A C is uncompetitive, and a D was not charted for the panel review. Finally, for the timeline, the online registration for research officers and key investigators is always open. We opened the proposal submissions on the 7th of March 2024. We will close the submissions by the 30th of April, 12 noon Doha time. The deadline for the RO vetting will be the 7th of May of 2024, and the awards will be announced by October or November of this year. For further inquiries, you can use the support link for the QRDI portal. For further information, you can visit the QRDI portal, the QRDI portal, and for further inquiries regarding the Ministry of Municipality, you can contact Ms. Khulud or Ms. Widad from the Ministry. Thank you so much. We will go to the questions. So, will the video recording be shared for our records? I am not sure. Dr. Omar?
Yes, we'll be happy to upload it on our website.
Okay. So there's... So I just want to clarify, can an LPI for one project be a co-PI for the second project? Yes, yes, he can. There's an anonymous attendee asking that, can an LPI for one project be a co-PI for a second project? Yes, yes, he can. Can an LPI apply for both food security and ARG?
Yes.
Yes, yes, he can.
But with the difference, if I may, Dr.
Sure.
Abdurrahman. Now, good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Omar speaking. Regarding the question about can a lead PI apply for both food security and ARG? Yes, of course, they can. But please bear in mind the difference between the objectives of both goals. ARG, again, it's falling within the academic research program where it's blue sky research, it's investigator driven, and you don't have to be necessarily strongly aligned to one of those priority areas. Well, you want to have some, broad alignment to the strategy as a whole. But when it comes to the food security call, it is under the umbrella of the National Research Program, also known as NRPs. And in these calls, you are under the obligation to align to one of the priority areas. That's point number one. And point number two, you want to have a tangible form of outcome, and not necessarily a scientific form of outcome here. We are after a result that can be exploited by end users tangibly. Not only contribution to science or capacity building, or all of these are welcome. When you produce papers, when you increase your citation, when you come up with the high impact factors, when you train people, all of these are welcome, of course. But these are not the primary focus of these calls. We are after something that we can tangibly use by end users down the line. And that's why we are trying to link you with the relevant stakeholders, and mainly here is the Ministry of Municipality, who is mandated by taking care of the food security strategy. Yeah, to you, Dr. Abdurrahman.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. So this question is addressed to Ms. Widad from the municipality. If I would like to use a laboratory form from the Ministry of Municipality in Qatar that was not listed in the presentation, can I apply for using it? Particularly an aquaculture farm.
Actually, they can apply and we will submit it to the considered administration, and we can see on that time if he can apply on this farm or this station or no. And we will answer them by emails.
Yes, thank you. There's another question for Ms. Widad. How long in days will it take to receive the MOM supporting letter? To receive the supporting letter from our MOM?
Okay, last time it took a while, but now, inshallah, it will not take a while. It's around 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay, this is also for Ms. Widad. Can the Ministry of Municipality supply fish or shrimp larvae as part of the resources?
Also, we will send this a question for the administration, and we will see if they can apply, supply or not, and we can answer this question by email.
Okay, thank you. So the slides will be uploaded. The video will be uploaded. Can I previously? Yeah.
We can upload both
Slides and
videos on our website,
videos.
yes,
Yeah.
by all means.
Okay, sure. So Mr. Hatem Ibrahim says, can a previously submitted proposal evaluated under Group C in previous cycles be eligible for resubmission in this cycle?
Yes, the answer
Yes.
is yes. You can, of course,
So
you want to
this is for
provide your,
resubmissions, yes.
yeah, under resubmission and provide your rebuttal to the points raised by the peer review of last cycle.
Okay, there's an anonymous question. When should letters from the MOM be requested? Is there a deadline or timeline for getting those signed? So this, when should the letters from MOM be requested? This is in for what is it? This is in terms of letters of you. The question is not clear. Is it for using the facilities at the MOM?
Maybe he asked when the letter is should to be submitted for us. Maybe from the beginning of the proposal.
Yeah, I think if you mean the person who asked the question, some supporting letter that should be signed by MOM, it has to be ready by the time of submission, by the time you prepare to submit. Yeah,
the letter should be attached with the proposal itself.
Correct. Yes.
The submission. Yes. How many partners are required for this call from inside and outside of Qatar?
There is no limit to the number
limit.
of partners. It's up to you. Our advice would be to select those partners in terms of number, in terms of alignment and relevance, those that are conducive to providing the good results that you are talking about in your proposal. Okay, that's advice number one. Advice number two. I mean, think from the perspective of a reviewer who's going to evaluate your proposal. If you come with many partners, I underline the term many, that might, undermine the management aspect of the project when you have many people inside and outside Qatar. So you want to have the size of your project that really is conducive to providing the good results you're aiming for.
Thank you, Dr. Amma. So in the request for application document, page 8, it is mentioned as part of the programmatic review plans to apply the project's results. Can you please elaborate?
Yes, I can answer that, Dr. Abdurrahman.
Dr. Amma?
Yeah, okay, Dr. Batul, by that we mean what's your plan of realizing that tangibility of the outcome that I talked about earlier. Again, there is a result, and how these results will be implemented down the line. How we're going to address farmers, how we're going to, put that same policy into action if your result is a policy. You want to provide a description in those contexts.
So Dhulfaqar Ahmed asks, can a young researcher PhD with institutional affiliations outside of Qatar can collaborate and apply? In case of you having an LP a collaborator inside of Qatar, yes, you can apply. You can collaborate with someone inside of Qatar and apply for the call. Abdul Hafid is asking, can I get Qatar food data for the demand forecasting? The Qatari food data, if you are talking about information that the ministry can supply, that is up to the ministry. And there are some statistics that can be found online on the website of the ministry itself. So for overseas partners, universities can. There's another question. For overseas partners universities, can the remaining funds of 20% be used outside of Qatar? Funds be transferred to overseas universities? Can you answer that, please, Dr. Amar?
Yes, the 20% that is allocated from the budget is actually allocated for the outside Qatar. That's the ceiling, that's the upper part. So yes, if you have an international partner, they may have access to a maximum of 20% of the overall budget.
Dr. Shaima Ilmala asks, can contractor has a PhD and affiliated with HBKU in HBKU apply as a PI?
Well, you wanna ask your institution policy in that. So please address that question to HBKU Research Office. If they allow you, being a contractor with them, to apply, we have no problem with that because we honor the institution policies.
Okay. Can policy level strategies and roadmap be proposed in line with research areas?
Of course, yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Abdul Fattah, I believe in regard to logistics and food supplies to Qatar are available to Ministry of Trade and Industry. Is the Ministry of Trade and Industry in this research cycle? No. The cycle is between the Ministry of Municipality and QRDI.
Yes, the call is jointly between QRDI and Ministry of Municipality. But if the question means whether the Ministry of Trade and Industry can apply to the call, yes, of course, you can apply. You can apply and you can address the logistics and the food supplies.
I don't think that he's asking about the application.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the PowerPoint will be shared. Can you elaborate more the support we can receive in relation to the endorsement letter and what we need to provide from our side? Dr. Omar?
Can you elaborate more the support we can receive in relation to the endorsement letter and what we need to provide from us? I think, Dr. Alessandro, you're referring to the support letter coming from MOM. If that is the case, when you approach MOM with your thoughts, with your idea of proposal, You want to justify to them as to why you need to use this or that facility or this or that resources of the MOM, and they will support you with the support letter, basically. Just make the case that this is needed and this is the plan on how you're going to access their resources.
Dr. Dr. Muammar is asking, how can you help us make sure to obtain support letters and timely from the Ministry of Municipality? You can reach out to Miss Widad, and we have the contact information for Miss Widad and the presentation itself. And Ms. Widad from the ministry has said that in this cycle, it will take about 2 weeks to obtain the support letters. So I work for the Ministry of Municipality Animal Resource Department. We are allowed to apply. How to participate? So Dr. Amar.
No, colleagues and scientists working in the Ministry of Municipality are not allowed to apply as a researcher for this goal due to clear conflict of interest. Thank you.
Mr. Abdel Fattah, I believe in regard to logistics of food supplies to Qatar, this has and we have already answered this question. Food security and agriculture in general are not among the widespread competencies of research areas in Qatar University. If an LPI is a scientist in some other scientific discipline like physics, chemistry, or other unrelated disciplines to agriculture, but offers a proposal in his lack of direct expertise in agriculture, going to affect negatively his or her assessment.
Well, the background of the lead PI, physics, chemistry, or maybe unrelated disciplines, as you mentioned, is not a prerequisite for you to apply. You can always link to those who have the right discipline here inside Qatar. That's point number one. Point number two, the idea you may propose that is feeding one of those research area could pretty much stemming from physics or chemistry or other unrelated disciplines as well. So we welcome all disciplines. And point number three, whether this is gonna negatively affect the assessment or not, well, it's on case-by-case basis. Now, again, think from an evaluator standpoint. When he or she sees the research team addressing the idea X, and the research team have the necessary background all together to address that idea X, whether they come from physics or chemistry or unrelated disciplines or related disciplines. Okay, sometimes evaluator, though the team is related to the topics, but they miss key components. They miss a nutritionist, they miss an agronomist or whatever, something like that, and that could as well negatively impact the assessment. So please look at it from a holistic point of view as to how the whole structure of your proposal, that includes the idea, the timeline, the people involved, the infrastructure or facilities you're going to attend to, the collaboration set, etc. How that holistic setup, feeds into the benefit that you are proposing to your idea. Look at it from that perspective, and hopefully you're going to submit a very strong proposal.
So there's an anonymous attendee asking how a foreign research of or university can be a partner of one of the proposals. Any chance to come in touch with Qatar scientific community in the field of agriculture and food security? So you can, for this question, you can actually look at the universities applying for the proposals of this cycle, and you can try and contact the the LPIs from these universities, so for the professors from these universities. Dr. Amar, can you
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you put it correctly. That's it. We have large platforms of collaboration. Please look at our website. Also, we are about to launch social media platform for this call. It's going to come live maybe today or tomorrow, in which we do provide these platform to communicate. So you may come there and put your idea and look for collaboration. People here inside Qatar or researchers who are interested into your idea will contact you automatically. Yeah.
Okay, there's someone who says that I believe this is not only experimental but also developing quantitative models on supply chain that analyzes food security. Yes, this is also this can also be applied for this research as long as it's aligned with the national the priorities of this cycle.
On those lines, and again, to make the differentiation between the academic program and the national program in which food security lays, your idea should not stop at developing that quantitative model, and that's it. No, how are we going to make that model into use? How you're going to integrate it into the supply chain per se to be effectively, tangibly exploited and used by end users. That's what we are looking for.
Okay, Mr. Hassan Ali says, will there be another cycle of food security or this is the last call? Dr. Omar.
Why is that so? No, definitely not.
I don't know.
Inshallah, Allah يحيينا بخير inshallah.
Inshallah. Does the Agri Lab offer any support for evaluating different irrigation methods and the ability to test them in some MOM-owned pilot farms? This is addressed to the Ministry of Municipality. If Ms. Vidat can help with this question.
I didn't get the question again.
Does the Agriculture Lab offer any support for evaluating different irrigation methods and the ability to test them in some Ministry of Municipality owned pilot farms?
Yeah. The researcher and technician will give helps for any of method that they needed. But for more information about this irrigation method, she can contact with me regarding this question, and I will ask the related department and answer it. But they will they help them in the researcher and technician in our labs. They will help the researchers in this cycle.
Thank you, Mr. Dr. Amar, if there is a proposal in a resubmission proposal, do the reviewer questions need to be addressed in the 10-page research plan, or are there extra pages for the rebuttal?
In the 10-page research plan, there is a section called rebuttal. So definitely it's in the 10 pages research plan. However, whether your rebuttal will be counted out of the 10 pages or not, allow me to double check and we'll get back to you, Tambela.
Okay. Mr. Rabi, how other countries can be integrated in the project? For example, should all the projects be relevant to Qatar, or it might provide solutions for other countries in the same time? The call is mainly for launched for the Qatari food security. It's called the Qatar Food Security Call. Whether the solutions that you provide or the conclusions that you get from your proposal or from your project might be applied to other countries. This is another situation. However, the call is specified to the Qatari needs for now. What is about the project of analysis? What is about the project of analysis of water losses in water network by using GIS?
Well, I think for these kind of questions, we are in the inability for the moment to advise you whether this is aligned to any of the priority A or not, because alignment is part of the review process. So not to be biased with you or with another person, please allow us and understand our position that we may not really be able to answer this. Our advice would be the request for application call lays down clearly, as far as we think, the priority area and their exact, target areas or target points or target results, if you will. So if you think that your idea falls within one of those areas, you are most welcome to apply. Thank you.
So Batul asks to elaborate on the statement mentioned in page 9 of the RFA. Ethical compliance is also assessed by experts as part of the programmatic review. Is there any documents needed to be provided by the researchers? Ethical compliance. As for the ethical compliance, I don't think that you will need to. I don't think that you will need to apply any document with regards to ethical compliance.
There is no extra document, but in the project management section, if you look at the research plan template that you need to download from our page regarding food security. So in that research plan template, there is a section regarding project management where the applicant needs to include how he or she will address the ethical requirement. Not only that, there is a section, I'm looking at it now as I speak in my screen, it's section 5.2, it's called ethical and regulatory requirements. All of these are part of the research plan. So he or she needs to address how is he or she is taking care of that aspect of the project, and that will be reviewed by the review process.
Thank you, Dr. Amr. Food security and agriculture in general are not amongst the widespread. I think we already addressed. Yeah, we addressed this question. Yeah, we already addressed this question. Can a postdoc be an LPI?
The short answer is no.
No. Alessandro is asking, can an emeritus professor from outside of Qatar be able to collaborate with a research team in a university in Qatar without the involvement of the foreign university of origin?
In what capacity, Dr. Alessandro? What would be his or her capacity, PI, consultant, what exactly, in order to be able to provide the right answer?
Would preference be given to proposals with co-funding cost share? Does he mean preference in awarding or in the awarding stage? I'm not sure.
If he mean, if the person who asked that question refers to to preference in the award stage, my answer would be co-funding cost sharing is one among many other areas that need to be need to be well addressed in order to reach that awarding stage. So this is a recurrent question that we keep getting, and it seems maybe some of our colleagues in the ecosystem took the picture not in the right way. It's not only because you have a cost sharer or a co-funding on board that you guarantee funding. No, that is not true. So many proposals have cost sharing even in cash, and they ended up not to be funded. We are after many components: quality proposal, quality researchers, good idea, implementable idea, tangible idea, availability of end users that gonna make use of that, results, possibly cost sharing or co-funding that bring good indication there is an interest from end users. So look at it, please, from a holistic point of view. And should you guarantee all of these, we will guarantee as well for you that you're gonna end up with the best proposals, highly likely to be awarded.
The question that was asked regarding the Ministry of Trade, he says that no, I am asking about the access of information. The access of information from the Ministry of Trade is up to the Ministry of Trade. We have no access on that. We have no say in that. Al-Sayed is asking, do you have a list of cooperating countries eligible for research collaboration with Qatari researchers? Dr. Omar?
Well, no, we don't have a list because all countries are eligible
countries, yeah.
to have collaboration with. We have no problem with any country.
Someone is asking, are PIs able to propose renewal proposals for completed NPRP and MME projects that fit these project priorities?
Yes. Answer is yes. You can submit a proposal in the form of renewal. You will not find the term renewal in our application system. You will find a new or resubmitted. So in this case, you need to select a new, but make sure to make a strong case as to why you need to continue your previous projects by providing the results and the applicability and so on and so forth. But yes, you are eligible.
This is kind of the same question. Can I resubmit the older proposals after revising and addressing the references, comments accurately? Yes, you can. Yes, for sure you can. Are the employees at the Ministry of Municipality eligible to participate in this cycle? Dr. Omar?
No, we answered this early, unfortunately.
Yes. No. So, because it's a co-funding entity, anyone who is affiliated with the Ministry of Municipality is not eligible to participate in this cycle. If a proposal is resubmitted, can the research proposal be extended with additional preliminary results? Or should it be the same as the one submitted in the first time? Dr. Ammar?
Yeah, yes, of course. You can extend it with additional preliminary results as far as you don't deviate much from what you proposed last year. Okay, you're still within the same context, so to speak, the same areas, and we will look at it positively as a resubmission. Thank you.
So we will be taking the last two questions. The Laboratory of Plant Protection I coordinate at University of Tosca in Italy with expertise in subbiome and pathobiome advanced studies and microbial engineering to sustain plant growth and healthness and is available for collaboration in these proposals if any category group might be interested. This can be addressed while looking for collaborators. Can a researcher's contribution as in kind by hours, but not as cash? Dr. Amar?
Yes, in-kind contributions are welcomed as well. Again, you have to justify them. Huh? You have to describe what is your in-kind contribution.
Okay, I think we will end by this question over here. For any further questions, you can send us send your inquiries on the emails provided below. Thank you for listening, and thank you, Dr. Omar. Thank you, Miss Widad from the ministry, and thank you all.